But what you're saying is walk a mile on my shoes, right? There's a lot going on here. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, being a college athlete is not easy. I mean, people might say, "Oh, you guys got NIL, all this stuff," but it's like, you guys only see us on Saturdays and game days. You don't see what goes on within these doors and in the weight room, Coach Smitty. And so, it's a lot. And then on top of that, you got school and everything. So, some like I have classes on like Mondays and Wednesdays right after practice at 7 to 9 p.m. So, I got to go right from practice straight home or straight to get food, dinner, and then, get food in my system and then get to class and try to pay attention and retain all the information that they're telling us.
Yeah. It seemed like mental health coming out of the pandemic was a pretty big deal because that screwed with everyone's head, right? Not just football players, us, everybody. And now here we are 3 years later, and it's like, it kind of fades into the background. I take it you still want it to be a big topic.
No, yeah, I think it's great, especially with these coaches. They want to make sure that we're taking care of whether it's on the field and off the field. Because, if you got something going on outside the field, it might affect how you play on the field. Because a couple examples of that. You can see like people that had outside issues affect them on the field, and you wonder what happened.
Go ahead, guys.
Jonah, lots been made that you made a lot of weight, gained weight. Can you talk about that and kind of where you are right now opposed to this time last year?
So last year around this time, I was probably like 260s, probably struggling to stay in the 260s because during fall camp practices, it's hot outside. And then, those are like 2-hour practices or 2.5-hour practices. So you lose a lot of weight throughout those practices. So I was probably trying to struggle to stay in the 260s area, 270. But right now I'm 290. So, shout out to our nutrition staff and Coach Smitty and the strength staff for helping me, since day one in January, since we came back. And they said, switching over to DT. And so making that transition, just working to gain that weight the right way.
How difficult has it been to practice in this heat? I mean, it's 100 degrees almost every day for 7 days this week. I mean, what has the nutrition staff done? I mean, what have you been doing personally?
So they give us, every day before practice, they'll have some type of electrolytes or, beet juice. That helps you in different areas. Like the beet juice is to help get your oxygen in your blood, I'm pretty sure. Now, I might be wrong. But something like that. And then, like electrolytes to help when you sweat. And, you need to replenish those electrolytes and that salt. So we have like those really salty drinks. And, but it's really just mental. Because if you think about, all these other schools down here working out and practicing in the same heat, or hotter in other places. And, it's just a part of the game. You just got to come every day and attack every day and have that mentality. Because, game week's next week. And for me specifically, this is my last year, so I try to just leave it all out every play at practice and just give it my all because this is where we're getting our conditioning right now for the season. And so I want to be a player that doesn't have to come off the field because I'm tired. I want to be able to play every play 110%. And that's just my mentality.
You kind of talk about the expectation of the new line this year. And Brent's talked a lot about competitive depth. How do you feel like that room is now and your feeling on the depth going into this year?
So the whole D-line, we got a bunch of new transfers, older guys, experienced players. And when you bring in more experienced players, if people that were, I'm not saying this was the case here, but, people sometimes tend to become complacent, because they're starting, they're playing, so they kind of ease up. But when you have a guy that's old as you, has just as much or even more experience than you, it pushes you every day because, you're really fighting to get that spot. And, you push each other every day at practice because, you see them doing well and you're pushing each other. And it just elevates everybody, the whole room, the whole D-line room. It elevates the whole D-line room. So, the new guys are doing great. And I love all the new guys. I feel like we're a really tight-knit group, the whole D-line. And, I'm very excited to watch everybody playing the new D-line, like all the new transfers and even the guys that came here last year too. So I'm really excited.
What stuck out about the O-line so far and the battles with them?
Oh man, I love our O-line. It's just football is such a funny sport because you get those relationships with those guys from winter to spring, summer, because you're working out with Coach Smitty. You guys are going through fire with Coach Smitty outside, running. So you have these really tight bonds, and then you have to come out every day at practice, and you're basically trying to kill each other at practice. And so that's the funny thing about football. It's just you're best friends with the guy right in front of you, but you're trying to basically kill him. But I mean, I love our O-line, and I mean, I think the relationship we have is iron sharpens iron, and so everybody's giving everybody their best, and somebody taking plays off or anything like that, you get on top of them and say, come on, man, like, I know you're better than that. Or, you could tell somebody's maybe hurting or something, you tell them to push through it because, you guys are making each other better. If you're not to your best and I'm playing against you, then you're not making me better, or vice versa, I'm not making you better. So it's just having those type of relationships where we push each other.
Who's the nastiest on the O-line? Who do you just hate going up against?
Do I hate? I don't think I hate it going against anybody, but everybody specifically has their own things. Like Walter, he has strong hands, and especially at practice, our practice jerseys are really loose. So he has really strong hands. So once he gets you, it's coming on. And then Savion Byrd, he's a very aggressive offensive lineman. He'll really punch you if you don't, get your hands right, or try to get his hands off of you. And then, Ram, he's a very smart player, very experienced player. I love playing against all these guys and it's funny because when we go out against each other, we just laugh at each other, because we're playing the game and it's also fun at the same time. So you're trying to get each other, and so there's always that. And McCade, he's an experienced player as well. Came from the Pac-12. I think he was all Pac-12 when he played. Him coming in last year and coming in this year, he's much more comfortable at his position. With the offense, second year in the system. And I love playing against McCade too. Very good player structurally and technique-wise. And Tyler Guyton, I love playing against. I get to say good things about everybody. I'm not gonna lie.
He's such a good guy.
Because I played DN last year, so I played against the tackles and the interior. So I got a lot of respect for all of them. They're all really good. So excited to watch some pancake, not our guys, but somebody
else.
So impressive.
Jonah, when we talk about depth and about it last year, we kind of heard this, what you guys didn't have would catch up to you maybe in the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah.
So what did that feel like? Are there any games you can think back on where that really did catch up?
We lost, I think 5 out of the total. I'm trying to remember. But most of the games that we lost were in the fourth. Yeah, we're in the fourth quarter. So, when you think about it, getting these new transfers and everybody, that added that competitive stamina, because now we have a lot of more experienced players and people that know what they're doing and can play to the best of their ability and elevate the whole defense. And that was the whole purpose of them coaches bringing in all these new people, and so that the whole team rises together with all these new people coming. Because as that competition, whether it's in practice and then on the field, having those guys as well to come in when say someone gets beat up in a game or somebody's tired from either special teams or something like that, you have those guys to step up and play.
Jonah, there's an idea that you guys need to really thrive this year, not just for the sake of this year, but for what the program's stepping into next year with the SEC. Does that particularly go with the line of scrimmage? Because everything you hear about the SEC is it's just a different beast at the line of scrimmage, right? That's where you really prove yourself in a league like that. Is that fair?
No, I see what you're saying with the SEC. Whenever you think of the SEC, people are saying, "Oh, it's much different because O-line, D-line in the trenches, they're bigger, stronger." Right. And I think it's the same like that with every conference. Especially Big 12. SEC. You have much bigger guys and stronger guys. It's going into next year is the same as this year. We're going to be taking it 1 week at a time, and every opponent giving them our absolute best. Having a Game 7 mentality, everything on the line. And, I see what you're talking about with the O-line and D-line, but I think we have going into next year, we're gonna have the right guys for that. So I think we'll be good.
Is there any part of you that would have liked to taken a bite out of that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, most definitely. But
I know you want. I know you've got plenty to accomplish this year. I get it. But
it'd be cool to play in the SEC. You see all those games. It's known as the best conference,
right?
Because all the national champions or whatever. Sure. But I'd be just excited to play in the SEC, just as excited I was to play the Big 12. Right. Just different teams I've never played before. It'd be pretty cool to play new teams for sure.
You put in so much work to put on weight. Does it almost feel like it's been unfair with the temperatures? And has there been a day when you're you come in and you've lost a whole lot of weight and you're just oh crap?
No, yeah. Especially on this. When you have a longer weekend, because in fall camp you can only practice so many days in a row or whatever, and so there's some practices where we came out, it was like a hot day or a very humid day, so it's humid days that really get you, and a lot of water weight I lost, and I come back right after practice I lost 5 pounds, 6 pounds, and we have guys lose like 8 pounds right after practice, so it's crazy. You have to really hydrate, get those like electrolyte packets in you, refuel your body, and then just eat. You got to force yourself to eat, because sometimes after practice you're too like tired, like you're hungry, but you're like tired, you don't feel like doing anything, so you have to really force yourself to eat. And that's just the biggest thing is making sure you hydrate, and then whether it's water, Gatorade, electrolytes, and then getting your salt back in your system, because when you sweat, you can be a salty sweater, you need to get that salt back for your body and your muscles, and then hydrating and just eating the right stuff.
You should probably get like an NIL deal for urinals or something.
Not for real. Literally. Yeah, because, man, when you drink so much water, you're always like, like Coach Bates was saying, like, you guys should be drinking so much water that you have to ask to go to the restroom every 5 minutes. And so, because, especially in the D-line, he wants us to retain that weight. Because, we're holding the O-line for our linebackers or safeties or whatever, or we're trying to get through the O-line to, make plays and everything. So, yeah.